Leonardo's character arc during the 2012 show is one of the greatest in franchise history. But not only is it one of the greatest in TMNT history, it's one of the greatest character arcs period. We see him start out as just a volunteer for leader, who copies the leading style of his favorite fictional hero and only sees that as the correct leading style. He deals with a series of struggles and emotions such as loss, self-doubt, and failure, but none of this stops him. All these circumstances are what turned him from an inexperienced leader just mimicking his idol into a true, confident, courageous leader. Join me today as we look into Leonardo's leadership journey in TMNT 2012 and what makes it so great. The creators of the 2012 show made Leo a bit different than previous versions up to that point. Of course, he still showed his usual traits such as bravery, honor, and discipline. However, the thing they did a bit differently was also giving him a bit of a nerdy side. We constantly see Leo geeking out over his favorite show, Space Heroes, which I'll talk about more here in a bit. But I think the trait that Leo shines in the most is his self-doubt. Leo constantly questions whether he's good enough to be leader and doesn't want to let his whole family down. Seeing these internal struggles play out and watch him grow throughout the series is one of, if not the best part of the show. And what's crazy is it all starts with one simple question.
If you are to fight more effectively as a unit, you are going to need a leader.
Can I be the leader? Why should you be the leader? I kicked your butt. I should be the leader.
Hey, I'm smarter than all you guys put together. It should be me.
No way! It should be me! I don't really have a reason. I just think it would be neat.
After this, Leo is now officially the leader of the team. Now, in the beginning, Leo is a very inexperienced and naive leader. He often tries to play by the book and wants to be the perfect leader. Most of the time, he copies the leading style of Captain Ryan, who's the leader of the team in his favorite show, Space Heroes. And at first, this works for the most part. Sometimes his plans fail, but he always finds a way to get out of it. This causes him and his brothers to get super cocky, which Splinter usually scolds them for. But his true wake-up call comes when he and his brothers first meet the Shredder. The Turtles get their butts whooped, and this is what starts Leo's doubts on whether he should be leader. The episode A New Girl in Town contradicts this though, as Leo and Raph get into an argument, which causes Leo to make Raphael the leader for a day. But everything goes wrong for Raph, and in the end he realizes all the pressure that Leo is under. It's in this episode, however, that Leo is introduced to Shredder's daughter, Karai, who he at first has a crush on, but that'll get weird later in retrospect. She tries to get him to show a rebellious side, but Leo doesn't change who he is for her. For the rest of the first season, Leo is still just playing by the book for the most part. He continues to have an image of a perfect leader. So he remains kinda just being a cringy comic book-like leader.
Guys, prepare to dish out the mighty wrath of justice.
Seriously, just yell, get him.
All right, guys, let's put old Mother Hubbard back in her cupboard. Dude, it literally hurts to listen to you sometimes.
Art battle? Holy cow! You guys are turtles!
That's right. We're the Turtles of Justice.
Wow.
I mean, just... wow.
A key moment in his leadership journey, however, is in the Season 1 finale, where Leo sacrifices himself to save his brothers in April from a giant crangbot. Of course he survives, but this shows some crazy growth and development in his leadership role. Leo's brothers still sometimes challenge his decisions though, especially Raph. Splinter drops some great words of wisdom on him though, as he questions why his brother should appreciate him if he himself has no self-confidence. And speaking of Splinter, he and Leo have a very good bond in this show. Splinter often gives Leo great leadership advice and teaches him some fighting styles and techniques too. Anyway, Leo eventually finds out from Splinter that Karai is actually Splinter's long-lost daughter, Miwa. And for the rest of the season, Leo is determined to get her back to Splinter. Leo even tells her this in person, but every time she doesn't or a plan fails, Leo gets super hard on himself. One of his biggest fears, as we learn, is letting his whole family down. Eventually, Karai does come to her senses and returns to Splinter, but she ends up getting mutated into a snake. But that's not important right now, because one of the biggest turning points in the series is about to happen. During the Krang invasion, Leo gets separated from his family and goes in alone to take out the Shredder and the Foot Clan. This heavily backfires, and he ends up getting beaten up and thrown through April's apartment window. Leo is badly hurt, and the Krang are too powerful, so the Turtles leave New York and head up to April's family farmhouse. Leo remained unconscious for a while, but Raph watched over him, and eventually Leo awoke. Leo has sustained a ton of damage to his body though, and even his voice changed. Hold up, let's talk about that. So, the first and a half, I guess, seasons, Leo was voiced by Jason Briggs. But due to some controversies, he was let go, and for the last couple episodes of Season 2, Dominic Catcherbone was a stand-in. Then, in Season 3, Seth Green took over the role and remained for the rest of the series. And I'll be honest, he's definitely my favorite. He adds on to show Leo's growth, honestly. But anyway, Leo struggles with these injuries and deals with doubts on whether he's strong enough to heal up and be a leader through most of the farmhouse arc. But eventually, all 4 turtles go on an advanced ninja training to overcome their weaknesses and face their demons. This is where Leo learns to put his mind over his body and confront his internal doubts. After the quest is over, the turtles return to New York and to find Master Splinter and Karai. The turtles also eventually stop the Krang and return everyone to normal. In one episode, Karai ends up getting brainwashed and poisons Leo and his brothers. But Leo stops her by using something that Splinter taught him earlier on in the episode. He also shows off his great leadership by staying calm under pressure and saving his brothers when they get trapped by the Foot. At the end of Season 3, the Triceratons invade Earth and end up sucking it up into a giant black hole. Master Splinter also gets killed by Shredder, which leaves everyone emotional. Leo and his brothers get saved by the Fugitoid and end up traveling in space to use magic to reverse it. Once they return and save everyone, this is where things get crazy. Now up to this point, Leo has really had a good understanding of his leadership role. He's grown into his own at this point. But when the Shredder mutates and becomes Super Shredder, Leo starts to question whether they can defeat him. He also questions his choice to be leader again. But Splinter gives him a different look on it, by telling him Leo was always meant to be leader. It was never because he asked, he was always ready since he was little. This is great news to Leo, but what Splinter says about Leo becoming sensei when he passes away leaves Leo a bit scared, and eventually, in the episode, Leo's worst fear happens. The Super Shredder kills Splinter, and it's for good this time. No Fugitoid, no time travel, nothing. This obviously crushes Leo and his brothers. They have a burial for him the next day, but him dying makes Leo even more scared about the Shredder. But Splinter in spirit tells Leo that he needs to end this with the Shredder. So that night, the Turtles attempt to finally defeat the Shredder. In the final fight with the Shredder, after an intense battle, it remains just Leo and Shredder on top. And just as it looks like Leo is about to die, Master Splinter in spirit tells Leo to fear nothing. After this, all the doubt and worry that Leo's been having goes away, and he gets some emotional hits in. Then he goes for the final blow, and this is what finally kills the Shredder. After this, Leo walks out to his brothers and says,
Shredder is finished.
After this, Leo is now officially the leader that he was always meant to be. He failed many times and doubted himself, but pulled through when it mattered the most and had immense growth. This character arc showed no matter how much you doubt yourself, things can still end up good in the end. And that's why I believe that the 2012 version of Leonardo is the greatest we've ever seen. And if you want to see an analysis on his brothers, then click that subscribe button for more content.